Hey guys, what's up, man? Like Cobo Hall, chilling out, trying to go live, man, but can't even go live, man. I'm on my HP. I'm on my HP, and you know, it's not happening, man. It's not happening. It's not happening. Got my mouse, and I'm down here, chilling out, man. Went down to the Renaissance Center, it's not happening, man. That place is not happening. To me, Obama shouldn't have, to me, my personal opinion, Obama shouldn't have bailed out GM. Should have went to Chapter 9, and it would have been a lot more stuff, and just some readjustment in the city. It's still the same. It's got worse, man. It's like the hillbillies took back the city. Hamtramck. You had to go everything to Hamtramck. Why you got to go to Hamtramck? When Mayor Young was in office, uh, you know, you know, this how the Kobo is looking now, man. He did this. He did the same thing when he became mayor. He revenerated, Cobo Hall to make into a convention center. They just did it. It's looking all right, man. The other mayors didn't do it. The other mayors didn't do this stuff like that. Like uh, like Kwame Kilpatrick, bona fide, the stupidest mayor, the stupidest criminal in the United States. He perjured himself and lost a good job in Texas. That's why he lost the job in Texas. That's why he fired him. He didn't have a law degree to hold that job he had. If he would have kept the job as as a liaison or whatever, the only job he could hold in Texas was a telemarketing job. That ain't gonna pay back $1 million he owed to the city. So that was it, man. So Mayor Young did a lot of stuff, man. Before he became mayor of the city of Detroit, he had a lot of stuff he had to go through to become mayor of Detroit. He had to run down to the state house of representative and get lobby for stuff and turn people in, like the mayor of Detroit, Kavanaugh, or whoever was the mayor, about the mafiosos, the stress police, the unions, and Black Bottom, gutter trash in Black Bottom. Mayor Young stayed in Black Bottom. He wrote that in his book, Detroit. The book has not even. I would do a little experiment. I would call, but today is Columbus Day, so the library is not open. So, I would do an experiment, call down there to the, main library. Main library should have every book that's in Detroit, man. They don't even have the Mayor Young book. Somebody told me it was a racist book. It wasn't even a racist book, man. He just told the truth about Detroit, man, about the unions, what I call Canada, what they call, I don't know, I don't have his book, but they call the union goons something else. But over in Canada, they call them like hosers. You a hoser or whatever, you're a goon or whatever. It's something like that. So he said something about that, about the Black Bottom trash in Black Bottom, about the stress police and the mafia. He had to do something about the mafia in Detroit. It's the same thing, man. The police perjured themselves to Detroit citizens all day. You ask a Detroit citizen, man. Some cop perjured themselves, flat out perjured themselves. They had to get him for something else, man, for the crime, not for the crime what the officer said he did, because he perjured himself. They perjured themselves. It's the same thing. If you don't stop, this is what they're trying to do in the United States. Kill the history, rewrite the history of people who, went through the history. Mayor Young book is not up there. it's a they said the federal government was gonna make a $20 change the $20 bill from I think it's Thomas Jefferson to either Pocahontas or Harriet Tubman. Both of them got blemishes on their record, man. I know why Harriet Tubman is from Detroit, man, because the Underground Railroad couldn't come here, man, because I see a church. They said it was the Underground Railroad church. It couldn't have came there, man. It couldn't come. It couldn't come there, man. If you go to any hub in the South, like Louisiana, Mobile, or somewhere on the East Coast, man, let you know it couldn't have came through Detroit. Detroit had a bad reputation, especially Windsor, with Indians and immigrants over there in Windsor, man. They got a bad reputation of doing stuff to immigrants and Indians over there in Windsor. They got with the French, man. They got a bad reputation. It couldn't have came. It couldn't have came through Detroit. It couldn't have been. They couldn't have crossed over through the river and went over Windsor. If you read it, it's real sketchy. It's real bad. It's real bad because it couldn't have come center of town. Anybody know? If you like Alabama, man, go down to in the center of town. A whole bunch of stuff would go. If you go out there, a whole bunch of stuff would have happened, flat out, center of town. You couldn't take no slaves in the center of town in Alabama in the slavery towns. You couldn't do that. No slave, no better not to go in the center of town without, white or, whatever, man. And plus, Michigan was not a free state at that time. They had a whole bunch of slave hunters and everything in Detroit or whatever. If you look at the pictures of Detroit at that time, that's center of town. Nowhere in the world, somebody takes slaves or anybody of color in in an Anglo-Saxon church. Period. Couldn't happen, man. You need to read some of these books. What they say about Harriet Tubman. It couldn't have happened, man. That's center of town, man. That is fucking center of town. Couldn't happen, man. Especially in Detroit. With with those Anglo-Saxons, couldn't happen. So if they would have said it was off Detroit or somewhere, downriver, maybe. But Detroit, nah, they didn't cross over in Detroit. I know they didn't. So that's another thing sketchy about Detroit. The books, some of these books are missing. I mean, Mayor Young book should be out there because he was a prominent figure. Civil rights and everything in Detroit, man. The longest held the mayor the longest time, man. Why you don't have his book out there? It'd be a reference book or something to African Americans, man. For real. Let you know, Detroit is right back the same way, man. Hillbilly, it's right back to the same hillbilly stuff, same hillbilly, town. Smaller, it's getting smaller, and I wouldn't buy a GM car for nothing, man. The word was out there before the bankruptcy was out there. Don't buy that GM car for nothing, man. Always in the shop, in front of your, it's in the garage or in front of your house, man. Who want to have your car parked in the front of your house all the time, not going nowhere, idle, or in your garage, idle, man? You have to buy another car to drive, or lease another car, or rent another car to, drive, go to work or whatever, man. That car was hideous, and plus repair bills out of this world, man. Nowhere in the world to buy that GM car. Just like, that Vet. Why you gonna buy a Vet, man? Add a couple more, if you spending that much money, inexpensive, affordable, a sports car, affordable sports car. Might as well go and get a Ferrari, man. Go pay the money, get the Ferrari, add a couple of hundred and get the Ferrari or the Porsche, man, and call it the day. Don't buy that crap, man. For real, man. You want it, these people are putting your car together like like an assembly line. Why don't go to Ferrari? They put in the car, handcraft your car, just like Porsche is. Handcraft your car and deliver your car, man. Why you just go up there and just indiscriminately pick a car and just take it off the lot, man? You go out there, look through the book. I want this car right there. They deliver it. You go check it out. Might test drive it or whatever, and take it on, man. For real. Why you gonna go in there and just look around and pick a car and take it off? It just came out the assembly line like everybody else's car, and especially GM got a bad reputation about car in front of your house or in your garage, man. I wouldn't buy that shit for shit. Like the mechanic said, I won't buy that shit for shit, for real. Nobody. That's $60,000 worth of experience, not to buy. If you buy the Ferrari, keep it in there. It might be the cost might up there, but flipping it pays for itself. I won't buy that shit. I won't buy that vet for shit, for real. So peace. Just want to say a rant, man. Peace.